Hey everyone, my name is Malachi Zuhorski. It was a pleasure to actually meet you all on the Zoom on Monday. Um, I go by male pronouns, and my major is in Spanish education, and my minor is in English. So basically, I kind of want to teach at a high school level as of right now for Spanish because I feel like that's where I can possibly get hired in at a more probable rate or percentage. Um, but if I could teach even younger kids Spanish, I'd be fine with that. And then English as well. I'm going to take the exam for English to get accredited to be able to teach that. So, kind of whatever. Like, if I can go with Spanish or if I can go with English, I'll be happy with both. So, but yeah, it's my last year at NEIU. It's been a hard couple years. I've been going to school all year round, so I haven't had a break. So this is my last summer of actual classes like that I'll ever have to do again, and then I have my fall and spring semesters, which are mainly more centered around kind of the clinicals. So I'm really happy about that. I'm happy to be almost done. And then the books that I like, I just took a class. It's called English 360 in the spring semester. It's called Detective Fiction. If you kind of like the Sherlock Holmes stuff or anything like that, it goes through kind of the history of all the detective fiction books that have been written, well, the most popular ones at least. And if you're a big fan of, well, it was on Netflix, but it was titled Sherlock, and it's a BBC series of Sherlock Holmes. That was an awesome TV show recommendation, but it's not on Netflix anymore, and I honestly don't know where it went anymore. So if you can actually watch any of those are great episodes. My podcast recommendations, I listed a couple. I forgot that I actually have to do a video, so I kind of wrote out everything already, but I would say Myths and Legends is my favorite podcast with tales. So Myths and Legends is by Jason Weiser, and he goes through all the old tales through all different cultures, and he modernizes it, but he tells his stories with a very sarcastic kind of twist, and so he's fun. It's a definitely more light-hearted approach to telling the tales from the past. And then the other podcast I like is called Tales, just simply Tales. It's by Parcast Network. This is definitely a more serious rendition of all the different tales. Like it's told in a modern sense. They go by the story's plot line and tell it in a modern way, but it's definitely more serious. And I kind of like this one a lot more, not a lot more, but I like it more because the old tales like Little Red Riding Hood, any kind of tale you can think of, it's way different than the stuff we grew up on watching the Disney movies. It was very I guess very kind of like hardcore. I don't know how else to say it, but it was definitely more intense and real for people back then. So the tales were more warnings than actual just entertainment, so to say. The five cultures and discourse communities I feel safe or feel fluent in, I guess. I wrote church was one of them. I've been going to church my whole life, so that's a huge portion of my life, and a huge part of my life is going to church. And there's a couple, if you listen to Christian podcasts and stuff like that, I listed Apologia Radio and Blog and Mayblog. Those are two of my favorite Christian, and Wretched Radio would be really good ones as well. Those three are my favorite Christian podcasts. So if you go to church and you like listening to that type of stuff, I recommend those podcasts to you. What else? The discourse communities. Yeah, so church was one of them. Fitness. I love going to the gym. It's been a part of my life. I started working out my sophomore year, and I haven't stopped since. It just feels weird when I can't work out, and kind of stinks when I have a lot of homework because it's like I can't go, but it's always grinding me like I gotta go. So that's that kind of community. I love going to the gym. I love the culture behind it. I love reading, whether it be like audiobooks or actual reading. I don't have a lot of time to actually open the book up and read, so I do most of all of my reading technically listening. So I mean, it's not the same, but it's still, I mean, I love books. I love all different types of genres. My favorite genres would be the detective fiction and the gothic books of like the kind of late 1800s those types of times. School, that's one of the communities I'm in. I feel like I've been going to school forever now. It's kind of like never ending since like I said, I've been going all year since I was a freshman in college. I just go all year round. I haven't stopped, so it's kind of a huge part of my life. And when I'm done with school, it'll kind of feel weird. I'll just be in the teacher role though. And then lastly, history. I love history, so if there's anybody who has history podcast recommendations, I'd love to hear them. I listened to Dan Carlin Hardcore History. That's a really, really good podcast series for the history lovers out there. And I look forward to meeting everybody more, and especially talking with the Spanish majors. So I wish everyone a good luck and a good summer.